Okay, so let's have a look at the 2020 Higher Level Maths Leaving Cert Paper 1, question 5. This is a financial maths question, and part A just says here we have a couple who agreed to take out a €250,000 mortgage in order to purchase a new home. The loan is to be paid back monthly over 25 years with the repayments due at the end of each month. The bank charges an annual percentage rate, an APR, which is equivalent to a monthly rate of 0.287%. Using the amortization formula or otherwise, find the couple's monthly repayment on the mortgage. Give your answer in euro, correct to the nearest cent. We need to write down the amortization formula first, and you can get that from your maths tables. And it is A is equal to P times I times 1 plus I to the power of T all over 1 plus I to the power of T minus 1. So all we've really got to do is put in all the bits of information we have into that formula. So P is the principal here, so that's going to be €250,000. The I is the 0.287% as a decimal, if you like. So we have got to put in here 0.00287. And then here we got 1 plus I, so it's going to be 1.00287. And that is to the power of 12 times 25. So we've got to do 12 times 25, which is 300 months in total. So we've got to divide that by 1 plus I, which is again 1.00287. Got to raise that to the power of 300 as well. Subtract 1. So you've got to stick all that into your calculator and do it. Okay, so I have my calculator here. Let me just put all this into my calculator. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to leave the 250,000 maybe till the end. So I'm going to type in 0.00287. I'm going to multiply that by 1.00287, and that is to the power of 300. So let's just do that first. And now I'm going to divide that by the bottom line. I'm just going to stick all of that bottom line in one big bracket here. So it's bracket 1.00287 to the power of 300. And then we just move that out and then subtract 1. Close the bracket. Press equals, and that's the fraction part of it done anyway, but we need to multiply all of that by 250,000, and that gives us 1244.06. Let's see here, we have using them, give your answer correct in euros to the nearest cent, so it's going to be 1244.06. It's going to be 1244.06. So that would be the couple's monthly repayment on the mortgage. So that's the answer to part A. Okay, so let's have a look at part B then. Now, again, a long question here, a long-looking question anyway, so let's read through it. Another couple agree to take out a mortgage of €350,000 at a rate of 0.3% per month in order to purchase a new home. This loan is also to be paid back monthly over 25 years with the repayments due at the end of each month. The amount of each repayment is €1,771. Now, after exactly 11 years of repayments, the couple receive a financial windfall. They decide to repay the remaining balance of the mortgage. Okay, so write down a series, including the first two and the last two terms, which shows the total of the present values of all the remaining monthly repayments due over the remaining 14 years of the mortgage after the last monthly repayment at the end of year 11. So we have to write down a series for the present values of all the future repayments during the remaining 14 years of the mortgage. And once we've done that, then we have to find out how much the couple will need to repay in order to clear their mortgage entirely. So in other words, we've got to work that series out, if you like, to calculate their repayments. So what I'm going to do first is just do a series of kind of timelines, if you like. So I'm going to do the first one here, the second one here, we'll do one more here, and then we're just going to do the last two as well. So these are going to represent where the couple repay their 1,771 euros. So this is going to be now T0, this is going to be T1, this is going to be T2, this is going to be T167, and this is going to be time 168. So it's 14 times 12, which is 168. Because remember, this represents the 14 years. This is the 14 years that remains left in their mortgage. So they want to pay back the entire mortgage here. So if you like, this is 11 years up to here, and this will be at the end of 11 years. This here will be the 14 years left to pay on the mortgage. But they want to repay their mortgage. They want to repay their mortgage here. So we got to work out how much they will have to pay. So remember, they're going to pay back 1771, 1771, and so on, 1771, 1771. They're going to repay that amount at the end of each month. So let's look at all these present values. So if we take this one here, what would its present value be? Well, its present value is just going to be 1771 divided by 1.003 to the power of 1, because it's 1 month. If we take this one here, its present value is going to be 1771 divided by 1.003. This time it's going to be to the power of 2 here. Now if we take, there's loads of those in between, but let's just look at the last two then. So let's take this one. So this is going to come all the way back here. Remember, there'll be a few in between here as well. So this one here will be 1771 divided by 1.003, and this one will be to the power of 167. And finally, they would have needed to have paid back 1,771 euros here. So its present value would be 1771 divided by 1.003 to the power of 168. The sum of all of these, if we add all these up, that will give the present value of all future repayments over the last 14 years. So it'll give the present value here, in other words, and that gives the amount that they actually have to pay. So the series that we would need to write down, the series that they're looking for in the answer would be 1771 over 1.003 plus 1771 divided by 1.003 squared plus, we just have to write down the first two and the last two. So 1771 divided by 1.003 to the power of 167 first, and then plus 1771 divided by 1.003 to the power of 168. That's our series. That's the first part of the question there that they asked. Write down a series, including the first two and the last two terms, which shows the total of the present values of all the remaining monthly repayments due over the remaining 14 years of the mortgage. So we've done that, and that's after 11 years. Hence, find out how much the couple will need to repay in order to clear their mortgage entirely. Give your answer correct to the nearest euro. So we've got to do this series now, in other words. So the way we're going to do this is, you can probably see here that we've got a 1,771 in each term. So I'm just going to factorize that out. So it's going to be 1771. And then it's going to be 1 over 1.003 plus 1 over 1.003 squared plus, and then it's 1 over 1.003 to the power of 167 plus 1 over 1.003 to the power of 168. That's our series. Now the way we're going to do this is do the sum of a series, the sum of a series. Now the sum of a series is going to be Sn, and it's going to be A times 1 minus r to the power of n over 1 minus r. That's what we're going to do. Now in our particular case here, A is the first term, so in our particular case, A is going to be 1 over 1.003, that's our first term, and our r here is going to be also actually 1 over 1.003. And also we need n. So how many terms are there? Well, this is to the power of 1 and it's the first term. This is to the power of 2 and it's the second term. So this must be the 168th term out here. So then our n here is going to be equal to 168. So all we've got to do really is put all those in and multiply by 1,771. So the amount due then, the amount due is just going to be equal to 1,771 multiplied by, we need to do this here now. So it's going to be A, which is 1 over 1.003 multiplied by 1 minus 1 over 1.003, which is our or. We've got to raise that to the power of n, which is 168. Close that bracket, put all of that over 1 minus r, which is 1 over 1.003 again down here. And that's what we've got to calculate. Okay, so let's do all of that. Okay, so let's get out my calculator again and see if we can work this out. Now, I'm going to do what's inside the bracket first, the square bracket first, and then multiply my answer by 1771. So let's do that. So I'm going to start maybe inside the bracket here first. So I'm going to do 1 minus, and then fraction is going to be 1 over 1.003. Now that's going to be to the power of 168. Really, this part here, that fraction, this fraction here is just going to be, this fraction here is going to be 1 over 1.003 to the power of 168. So really 1 to the power of 168 is just 1. 1.003 to the power of 168 is 1.003 to the power of 168. So really I can take away this these two brackets here and put the 168 to the power of the 1.003 only. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing here. So that's that part. So let me just multiply, or let me just press equals there. So that's that bit done. Now I'm going to multiply that by 1 over 1.003. So I've got to multiply all of that by, I could have just divided by 1.003, but let's do it as it looks in the question. So I'm multiplying by that. So that's the top line of the entire fraction done. Now I've got to divide that by the bottom line. So I'm going to put a bracket in here. 1 minus, again, a fraction, 1 over 1.003. We'll just move it out here. Close the bracket. And I got 131.815499. Now I don't need that many decimal places, so we'll deal with that in a few minutes. But that's the entire square bracket done inside here. So Now I've just got to multiply by 1771. So I'm going to multiply that by 1771. And that'll give me a final answer of 233,438.25 actually, because we only need 2 decimal places. So let's do that then. So we just need to write that down. So it's 233,438.25. I think it was, wasn't it? 0.25, yes. Okay, so that's perfect. So that many euros, and that's the amount that they still have to pay off on their mortgage after 11 years for the remaining 14 years. So that's it for this particular question.